Draconini.
Coach, I guess let's start with the second quarter. What started going wrong there and continued throughout the game?
Well, look, I mean, I'm not, we started well. We went to the bench. It was bad, but it was bad the whole night from there on. Like, worst offensive game we've probably played with having all of our guys, or most all of our guys, in a long time. We turned it over 18 times, didn't shoot the ball well, and quite honestly, we're so bad defensively that we can't have a bad offensive night. We can't even have a mediocre offensive night. If we have a bad offensive night, we're going to get crushed like we did tonight because we don't stop anybody. And it affects our offense because we don't get chances to get out and run in transition. And so, look, I understand it's on me, and what we're putting out there defensively is embarrassing, quite honestly. And we've all got to take ownership of it. A lot of it's me, and a lot of it's our players, and they've got to take some ownership. We didn't compete tonight, and that's the bottom line. We didn't compete. We didn't help each other. We didn't play together at either end of the floor. A really embarrassing evening for us tonight. They played well. They were inspired to play. We didn't seem to care, and we got what we deserved. And when I say we, again, I'm not, I say this every time, I'm not putting it all on the players. I mean, I'm a big part of that too, but I'm also not absolving them. So, it's all of us.
You're back up in 24 hours. How much can you fix between now and then?
Oh, no. You're not fixing anything. There's no, miracle out there. I mean, you've got to compete harder and you've got to be better. We'll try to clear some things up. But no, we're going to walk through, on the arena floor at 4 o'clock tomorrow and talk about Cleveland and what we need to do. And we'll either come out and play better or we won't. We'll find out tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We're not making any major change or anything, though. We don't have time.
Coach, you jumped out to 24-8, but are you surprised at the lack of energy the rest of the ballgame, considering you had a week off?
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't have any energy yesterday in practice either. It was one of the worst practices that I've been a part of in my career, So I don't know. Sometimes the days off makes you lazy. It obviously helped them. It did not help us. It was a bad performance. So we will see. We'll see if we can play a lot better tomorrow night.
Yes, Stan, when you say your team didn't compete, just how concerning is that as far as where your team is right now mentally when you come out knowing what you need to do the second half of the season and you don't compete in this first game?
Yeah, it's interesting. To me, I don't really understand it because I thought we had a long stretch of games there where I thought we had a lot of fight at the end of the first half of the season. Even though we had lost 9 of 13, the Milwaukee game, the San Antonio game, the Miami game without Zion, the end of the Chicago game, the fourth quarter. We'd showed a lot of fight and competitiveness and everything else. So it's not like that. Our defense has been a problem all year, but as far as our guys fighting to stay in games, I thought they'd been pretty consistently doing that. So why tonight was the way it was, I really don't know.
Scott, you can go ahead.
All right, Stan, you've mentioned it before, if guys aren't going to compete, they got to be accountable for it, taking guys in and out. Is there any point that this has to get to where you have to sit starters, to where there's guys, who just can't play for long stretches, even though that they obviously are established players who have track records in the league?
Well, there's always a point, but here's the thing. You have to have your best players playing at both ends of the floor and competing hard if you're going to win in this league. That's what you have to have. And the other part of that is with if you're just going to talk on tonight, I'm not sure we could have come up with 5 tonight. So, look, it was just a bad game as a team all the way around. I thought Steven played really well against Towns, and there were some isolated other good things, but I didn't think it would be hard for me to say that anybody else, was really a positive in that game.
And just real quick, Brandon has mentioned before kind of the vacillating between what team is on the other side of the floor. Did you notice that tonight a little bit, that because it's Minnesota, because it's one of the worst teams in the NBA, that maybe they didn't show up ready to play?
Well, first of all, I think it's hard to say they didn't show up ready to play, because we obviously showed up ready to play. We got off to a great start. I think that's been, how many times have we from the get-go of the game, where you guys felt like, oh, they didn't show up ready to play? That really hasn't been a problem. We've had a couple of games, but not many. Our problem is sustaining. Our problem is understanding that it's a 48-minute game. And we didn't have anybody play huge minutes tonight, so we didn't wear anybody down. It wasn't that. I don't really have an answer for it, and I'm supposed to have the answers, and I understand that. I understand it's my responsibility. I understand it's on me. I understand that, especially at the defensive end of the floor, I'm not getting the job done. But our players have to understand that too.
Hey, Stan, Ryan Walker with the Times-Picayune. The fans showed a little frustration tonight. What would be your message to them that this is going to get fixed?
Well, my message to them would be, I understand their frustration. They should be frustrated. They should be upset. The way we played tonight's unacceptable. That would be my message. As far as whether it's going to get fixed, it'll get fixed if, we bring a lot more to the game. So I'm not going to guarantee it's going to get fixed. We got to bring more to the game. I guarantee it can get fixed, but whether it will or not, we'll find out as time goes on.
Thanks, Coach. We're all set.
All right.